Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenges. Wish for more wisdom. Most people dream of success, but the moment things get difficult, they quit. They want the rewards without the struggle, the results without the effort. But here's the truth. Greatness is forged in fire. Look around. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by choosing the easy path. They did what others refused to do. They embraced the pain, the setbacks, the discipline, and the sacrifices. They became stronger by doing what was hard until it became second nature. You see, comfort is the enemy of progress. Every time you avoid discomfort, you reinforce weakness. But every time you push through, you build strength. And strength, both mental and physical, is what makes you unstoppable. If you want to break free from mediocrity, you must stop waiting for life to get easier. Instead, commit to becoming stronger, tougher, and more relentless. Today, I'm going to show you how to embrace hard things, build unshakable discipline, and develop the mindset that separates the elite from the average. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I break down the exact principles that will make you unstoppable. Let's dive in. Number 1, take full ownership. No more excuses. The harsh reality is this: no one is coming to save you, not your parents, not your friends, not your boss, and definitely not the government. The moment you accept that your success, your growth, and your future are 100% your responsibility, your life will change forever. Winners take full ownership of everything: their actions, their failures, and their results. Losers, on the other hand, look for someone to blame. Excuses are easy, but they will never move you forward. It's easy to say, "I don't have the time." But guess what? Everyone has the same 24 hours. It's just that some people own their time, while others waste it. It's easy to say, "I wasn't given the same opportunities," but the most successful people didn't wait for opportunities. They created them. They refused to be victims of their circumstances. Instead, they took control, adapted, and forced life to give them what they wanted. Taking ownership means looking in the mirror and admitting, if my life is not where I want it to be, it's because of me. That realization is painful, but it's also the most liberating truth you will ever accept. Because when you stop blaming external forces, you gain control. And when you control your actions, your habits, and your mindset, nothing can stop you. Here's the truth. Life doesn't care about your excuses. Your excuses don't pay the bills. Your excuses don't build the business. Your excuses don't get you in shape. Only action does. Every second spent making excuses is a second wasted. The time will pass anyway. Will you look back with regret, or will you look back with pride? People who take full ownership move differently. They don't wait for motivation, they create discipline. They don't sit around waiting for luck, they force results through consistent effort. They don't let obstacles define them. They find solutions and push forward. If you want to become unstoppable, drop every excuse today. Stop blaming your past, stop blaming your environment, stop blaming other people. It's time to take full control of your destiny. Because once you do, you'll realize the only thing standing between you and everything you want is the level of effort and responsibility you're willing to take. The question is, will you keep waiting for things to magically change, or will you grab life by the throat and make it happen? The choice is yours. Number 2, master the art of self-discipline. Motivation is a lie. It comes and goes like the wind, unreliable, unpredictable, and completely useless when you need it the most. That's why the people who rely on motivation never succeed. They start strong, but the moment they don't feel like it, they quit. And quitting becomes a habit. What separates the successful from the average is self-discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. Discipline is what builds empires. It's what separates champions from amateurs, winners from wannabes, leaders from followers. Talent doesn't guarantee success. Being smart doesn't guarantee success. The only thing that guarantees success is relentless, disciplined action day after day, whether you feel like it or not. Think about the people at the top of any field: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or leaders. They aren't there because they were the most naturally gifted. They are there because they showed up every single day. They trained when they didn't feel like training. They worked when they wanted to rest. They pushed when everything in them screamed to stop. They understood a simple truth: discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. Here's the hard part. Discipline isn't built overnight. It's built in the small moments when no one is watching. It's choosing to wake up early instead of hitting snooze. It's showing up at the gym when you'd rather stay in bed. It's putting in the extra hours when everyone else has clocked out. These moments stack up over time, creating a version of you that is unstoppable. The biggest mistake people make is thinking discipline is something you either have or don't have. That's false. Discipline is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. The problem? Most people train themselves in the wrong direction. Every time you skip a workout, procrastinate, or break a promise to yourself, you reinforce weakness. But every time you push through discomfort, show up when it's hard, and keep your word, you reinforce strength. If you want to build discipline, start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick one thing, a morning routine, a fitness goal, a business habit, and commit to it every single day without exception. The key isn't to go all in for a few weeks. The key is never breaking the chain. Because once you prove to yourself that you can be disciplined in one area, that discipline spreads like wildfire to everything else. One of the most powerful mindsets you can adopt is this: do it anyway. Don't feel like working out? Do it anyway. Don't feel like grinding on your business? Do it anyway. Don't feel like putting in extra effort? Do it anyway. Your feelings are irrelevant. What matters is action. People who master self-discipline don't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect energy, or the perfect time. They take action regardless, because they understand something that average people don't. Discipline equals freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life. The more control you have, the more success you create. So ask yourself, are you controlling your life, or is life controlling you? Are you dictating your future, or are your emotions dictating it for you? Every time you choose to take the easy way out, you give up control. But every time you choose discipline over comfort, you gain power. The truth is, the people who get ahead in life aren't always the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who show up, put in the work, and stay consistent, day after day, year after year. Discipline isn't just about working hard. It's about becoming the type of person who does what is necessary, no matter what. It's about looking at the excuses, the distractions, the comfort zones, and destroying them. It's about deciding that nothing will stop you, because at the end of the day, you will not rise to your goals. You will fall to your level of discipline. The question is, are you disciplined enough to do what it takes, or will you stay like everyone else, waiting, hoping, and making excuses? The choice is yours. Number 3. Embrace pain and turn it into power. Pain is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. The world has conditioned us to believe that pain is something to be avoided, something negative, something that means we should stop and retreat. But here's the truth. Pain is the price of strength, the currency of growth, and the fuel of transformation. Every great success story is built on a foundation of struggle, hardship, and perseverance. The people who rise above the rest are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who embrace it, endure it, and use it to forge an unstoppable mindset. The difference between winners and losers is simple: how they respond to pain. Losers let pain break them. They use hardship as an excuse to quit. Winners, on the other hand, see pain as a test, as an opportunity to grow stronger. They know that every challenge, every setback, and every failure is preparing them for something greater. Look at the most successful people in the world: athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, warriors. They have all been through hell. They have all been knocked down, doubted, rejected, and pushed to the brink of breaking. But instead of folding, they used the pain to sharpen their edge. They didn't run from the fire, they walked straight into it. And on the other side of that fire, they emerged stronger, tougher, and more unstoppable than ever before. If you want to succeed in anything, business, fitness, relationships, personal growth, you must rewire your mind to see pain not as suffering, but as the gateway to power. Every time you push through pain, you build a new level of resilience. Every time you endure discomfort, you raise your threshold for adversity. The harder things you willingly put yourself through, the stronger you become. Think about it. If you run from pain, you stay weak. If you avoid discomfort, you stay average. But if you willingly step into the difficult, if you choose to endure, if you force yourself to push through what others fear, you become unbreakable. Pain is temporary, but weakness lasts forever. If you quit every time something gets hard, you will never accomplish anything of real value. You must train yourself to endure, to keep moving forward, even when everything in you wants to stop. Your mind will scream, your body will ache, and doubt will try to creep in. But those who refuse to give in become the ones who achieve greatness. So how do you turn pain into power? You lean into it. Instead of avoiding the hard workout, you embrace it. Instead of shying away from challenges, you attack them. Instead of backing down from fear, you confront it head-on. Every difficult situation you conquer adds another layer of armor to your soul. Every struggle you survive makes you stronger for the next battle. The world is full of people who settle because they couldn't handle the struggle. Don't be one of them. Let every setback, every rejection, every painful moment fuel your fire instead of extinguishing it. Let it remind you that you are capable of more, that you were built for more, that nothing can break you unless you allow it to. The pain you endure today is shaping the warrior you become tomorrow. If you quit, you stay the same. If you push through, you evolve. Life will test you over and over again to see if you are truly committed to your dreams. Most people will fold under pressure, but you are not most people. So the next time you face pain, don't run, don't complain. Don't wish for it to go away. Face it, endure it, own it. Because every ounce of pain you conquer brings you one step closer to your ultimate potential. The fire that burns you now will be the fire that forges you into something unstoppable. Pain is not the enemy, it is the path. Walk it. Number 4, learn relentlessly, but execute aggressively. Knowledge is power only if you use it. Too many people get trapped in the cycle of endless learning, convincing themselves they're making progress when in reality, they're just collecting information without action. They read books, watch videos, attend seminars, listen to podcasts, but they never do anything with what they've learned. They mistake knowledge for progress. Learning is important, but execution is everything. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the smartest. They are the ones who take massive action. They learn, they apply, they adjust, and they repeat. They don't sit around waiting for the perfect plan or the right time. They understand that nothing happens until you move. There is a dangerous trap called analysis paralysis. It's when people spend so much time researching, planning, and preparing that they never actually start. They convince themselves that they need more information, more resources, or more confidence before they take action. But here's the truth. You will never feel 100% ready. If you wait for certainty, you will wait forever. Execution beats perfection every time. The world doesn't reward those who know. It rewards those who do. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need a perfect strategy. You just need to start. The only way to truly learn is by doing. You can read 100 books about swimming, but until you jump in the water, you know nothing about what it feels like. The fastest way to grow is to take action. Fail, learn from it, and try again. Every mistake teaches you something. Every failure toughens you up. Every challenge you overcome builds your confidence. You don't need more theory. You need more execution. Ask yourself this: what is something you've been putting off because you feel like you need to learn more? A business idea? A fitness goal? A new skill? The truth is, you probably already know enough to get started. You just lack the courage to take the first step. And that's where most people stay stuck, right at the edge of action, forever preparing, but never starting. You must break free from this cycle. If you want to be successful, you need to become an aggressive executor. The moment you learn something useful, put it into practice immediately. Don't wait until next week, next month, or next year. Do it now. Even if you fail, you will gain experience. And that experience is far more valuable than any book or seminar. Some of the most successful people in the world started before they were ready. They built the plane as they were flying. They figured things out along the way, and because they moved fast, they learned faster. The key to success is speed. The longer you wait, the colder the fire gets. But when you take action immediately, you create momentum. Knowledge is only valuable when combined with execution. There are people out there who have read thousands of books on business, but have never made a single dollar from their own venture. And then there are others who skipped the books, took risks, failed fast, learned through experience, and built empires. Which one do you want to be? This doesn't mean you should stop learning. Learning is crucial, But learning without action is useless. Instead of consuming content all day, balance it with real-world application. If you read about leadership, start leading. If you study fitness, start training. If you learn about investments, start investing. There is no shortage of knowledge in the world. Everything you need to know is at your fingertips. The real shortage: people willing to take action. The average person spends hours scrolling through social media, watching videos, reading self-help books, yet they remain stuck in the same place. Why? Because they never apply what they learn. They confuse activity with achievement. The only way to escape this trap is to develop a bias for action. Stop overthinking. Stop waiting for approval. Stop seeking more information. Just start. Action creates clarity. The more you do, the more you learn about what works and what doesn't. Experience is the greatest teacher, and failure is just feedback. The world belongs to those who execute, not those who overanalyze. Winners don't just learn, they act, adjust, and dominate. It's time to stop being just a student and start being a doer. Turn knowledge into power by taking massive action, and watch how fast your life transforms. Number 5, build unshakable mental toughness. Your mind is your most powerful weapon, or your greatest weakness. It will either push you forward or hold you back. The people who win in life are not always the strongest or the smartest, but they are always the toughest. Mental toughness is what separates the unstoppable from the average. It is the ability to endure, to persist, to push forward when everything in you wants to quit. If you can master your mind, you can master anything. Most people let their emotions control them. They let doubt, fear, and insecurity dictate their actions. When things get hard, they break. When they feel uncomfortable, they stop. When obstacles arise, they retreat. This is why they stay stuck. Winners don't think like this. They don't let emotions dictate their performance. They have trained themselves to keep moving forward, no matter how they feel. Mental toughness is built in the moments where you want to quit, but choose to keep going. Every time you push through discomfort, you are strengthening your mind. Every time you refuse to give in to weakness, you are building resilience. But the opposite is also true. Every time you quit, every time you let your emotions control you, you are training yourself to be weak. Think about the hardest thing you've ever gone through. Maybe it was a loss, a failure, or a period of extreme struggle. You made it through that. You survived. And if you survived that, you can survive whatever comes next. Your mind is stronger than you think. It just needs to be tested. The problem is that most people avoid difficulty. They take the easy route whenever possible. They avoid discomfort and seek constant pleasure. But this weakens them. Life will test you whether you like it or not. You can either train for those tests or be destroyed by them. If you don't build mental toughness on your own terms, life will force you to develop it under circumstances you won't control. So how do you build unshakable mental toughness? You seek out hard things on purpose. You put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You challenge yourself daily. You do what others refuse to do. You train yourself to become comfortable being uncomfortable. This is how you develop an indestructible mindset. Start with your daily habits. Do things that are inconvenient. Wake up earlier than you want to. Take cold showers. Push yourself harder in your workouts. Do that extra rep. Work when you don't feel like working. Train when you don't feel like training. Stay disciplined when it would be easier to be lazy. Every time you push through discomfort, you are programming your brain for toughness. Your environment also plays a huge role in your mental strength. Surround yourself with people who push you, not people who enable your weakness. If you are around people who constantly complain, make excuses, and quit at the first sign of struggle, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you are around people who are relentless, disciplined, and focused, their energy will push you to be better. Your circle is either making you stronger or weaker. Choose wisely. Another critical factor in mental toughness is controlling your emotions. Life is going to throw challenges at you. People will doubt you, criticize you, and try to bring you down. Things will not always go your way. How you respond to these challenges determines everything. The weak react emotionally. They get frustrated, angry, and discouraged. The strong stay calm, focused, and relentless. Train yourself to respond, not react. When things go wrong, instead of complaining, ask yourself, what can I control? What can I learn from this? How can I adapt and keep moving forward? Pain, struggle, and setbacks are not punishments. They are opportunities. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger for the next one. Every difficulty you face is training you for something bigger. The hardest experiences in life are the ones that shape you the most. If you can learn to see struggle as a gift, you will become unstoppable. At the end of the day, mental toughness is a choice. You decide whether you will let difficulties break you or build you. You decide whether you will quit or persist. You decide whether you will be controlled by your emotions or master them. No one is born mentally tough. It is developed through daily discipline and relentless action. The world is full of people who quit when things get hard. They make excuses, they blame others, and they settle for mediocrity. But you are not one of them. You are built for more. You have the ability to endure, to persist, and to rise above any obstacle. You have the ability to develop a mind so strong that nothing can break you. The question is, will you do what it takes? Will you choose the hard path, the disciplined path, the path of growth, or will you let life beat you into submission? The choice is yours. But know this, if you master your mind, you master your life. Number 6. Move fast. Success loves speed. Hesitation is the killer of dreams. Every second you spend overthinking, doubting, and waiting for the perfect moment is a second wasted. The most successful people in the world understand one thing. Speed matters. They don't wait until they feel ready. They don't sit around trying to perfect every detail. They act, they execute, and they figure things out as they go. The longer you wait, the colder the fire gets. If you want to achieve anything great, you must move fast and attack your goals with urgency. Most people lose because they hesitate. They see an opportunity but talk themselves out of it. They want to start that business, get in shape, or change their life, but instead of acting, they delay. And in that delay, the energy fades, momentum dies. They get trapped in the cycle of, I'll start tomorrow, until years pass, and nothing changes. This is why 90% of people stay stuck. They wait for the perfect time that never comes. The harsh truth. Success doesn't wait for you. It doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if you don't feel ready. It moves forward with or without you. The people who win are the ones who jump in, take risks, and adjust along the way. They understand that imperfection is better than inaction. The world rewards doers, not thinkers. Look at any high achiever, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. They all have one thing in common: a bias for action. They don't waste time overanalyzing. They don't let fear of failure paralyze them. They take massive, immediate action. And because they act fast, they learn fast. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes a stepping stone. Every risk taken sharpens their instincts. Speed is a superpower. It gives you an advantage over 99% of people who sit on the sidelines, waiting and wishing. When you move fast, you create momentum. And momentum is everything. Once you get going, everything becomes easier. The hardest part is the start. But once you break through that initial resistance, you build unstoppable forward motion. If you want to move fast, you must kill perfectionism. Too many people waste time trying to make everything flawless before they begin. But perfectionism is just fear in disguise. It's an excuse to delay, to stay comfortable, to avoid taking risks. Nothing will ever be perfect. The best strategy is to start now and refine along the way. Every successful person started before they were ready. You learn more by doing than by planning. Action brings clarity. You don't need to have all the answers before you begin. Most of the time, you figure things out as you go. The more you do, the more you learn what works and what doesn't. You adapt, you improve, you grow. But none of that happens if you never take the first step. One of the biggest killers of speed is waiting for motivation. If you rely on motivation, you will never get anywhere. Motivation is unreliable. It fades. It disappears. But discipline is always available. You don't need to feel inspired to take action. You just need to move. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The more you do, the more energy you create. The more you move, the more you want to keep moving. Another key to moving fast is decision-making. Most people get stuck because they can't decide. They weigh every option, analyze every possibility, and end up doing nothing. Winners make decisions quickly and commit to them. They trust themselves. They know that even if they make the wrong choice, they can adjust. Indecision is a bigger enemy than making a mistake. A wrong decision can be corrected. No decision keeps you stuck forever. If you want to develop speed, Start training yourself to act immediately. When you get an idea, act on it. When you set a goal, start today. When you decide to change your habits, make the first move right now. The longer you wait, the less likely you are to do it. Create urgency in everything you do. Imagine that time is running out, because it is. Think about this. What have you been delaying? What goal, what dream, what change have you been putting off because you're waiting for the right time? The truth is, the right time is now. The faster you start, the faster you see results. The only way to guarantee failure is to keep waiting. The world belongs to those who move, to those who take bold action without hesitation. The longer you sit back and watch, the further behind you fall. Move fast. Take risks. Fail forward. Learn as you go. That is how you win. There are two types of people, those who take action and those who make excuses. Who will you be? Number 7. The sacrifice rule: pay now, prosper later. Success demands a price. Most people are unwilling to pay it. They want the rewards, the lifestyle, the recognition, but they don't want to put in the effort, make the sacrifices, or endure the hardships. They want the shortcut, the quick fix, the easy path. But here's the truth. Nothing great comes without sacrifice. If you are not willing to give something up, you will never gain anything significant. You either pay the price now, or you pay the price later in regret. Look at anyone who has achieved something extraordinary. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, behind their success is a story of sacrifice. They gave up comfort, they gave up distractions, they gave up time-wasting habits, they gave up short-term pleasure for long-term results. They understood that you can't have everything at once. You must choose what matters most. Most people fail because they refuse to sacrifice. They want to be successful, but they also want to binge-watch TV for hours. They want to be fit, but they don't want to give up junk food. They want financial freedom, but they refuse to cut back on unnecessary spending. They want growth, but they won't sacrifice their ego to learn from those ahead of them. You can have excuses, or you can have results, but you can't have both. Sacrifice is the separator between the committed and the casual. The committed know that temporary discomfort leads to permanent success. They wake up early. They stay late. They work when others rest. They say no to distractions. They delay gratification. They do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. The casual, on the other hand, look for balance. They want to enjoy life while also achieving massive success. But balance is an illusion. The most successful people go all in on their goals. And once they reach their destination, they have the freedom to live however they choose. Sacrifice isn't suffering. It's a strategy. It's a trade. You give up something small now to gain something big later. You give up comfort today for greatness tomorrow. You give up distractions for focus. You give up wasting time for productivity. You give up temporary pleasures for permanent success. That's how winners think. The problem is that most people want success on their terms. They want to keep their bad habits and still win. They want to avoid discomfort but still achieve big goals. But life doesn't work that way. If you're not willing to burn your bridges, cut off your excuses, and go all in, you'll never reach your full potential. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't talent. It's sacrifice. The ones who make it are simply willing to do what others won't. They are willing to put in years of effort with no immediate reward. They are willing to be misunderstood, doubted, and criticized while they build their dream. They are willing to live a few years of struggle so they can live the rest of their life in freedom. They don't look for shortcuts. They embrace the grind. One of the greatest sacrifices you must make is letting go of toxic people. If you surround yourself with people who complain, make excuses, and have no ambition, you will become like them. If you want to level up, you must sacrifice relationships that no longer serve you. This is hard, but necessary. You cannot fly if you are chained to the ground by people who refuse to grow. Another critical sacrifice is letting go of your old identity. If you see yourself as someone who is lazy, unmotivated, or undisciplined, you must kill that version of yourself to become the person you need to be. Change is painful because it requires giving up who you were for who you want to become. But if you refuse to let go of the past, you will never create a better future. The biggest question you need to ask yourself is this: what are you willing to give up to get what you want? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort for progress? Are you willing to sacrifice leisure for discipline? Are you willing to sacrifice immediate pleasure for long-term success? Your answer to these questions will determine everything. Most people spend their lives avoiding sacrifice. And what do they get? Mediocrity, regret, a life of what-ifs, and I should have. But those who embrace sacrifice reap the rewards that others only dream of. They live life on their own terms because they were willing to do what most people wouldn't. So the choice is yours. Will you sacrifice now so you can live the life you want later? Or will you avoid sacrifice and stay exactly where you are? Success has a cost. The only question is, are you willing to pay it? Number 8, outwork, outlast, and outperform. Hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard. In fact, talent means nothing without effort. The people who dominate in any field, whether in business, sports, or life, are not always the most gifted, but they are always the most relentless. They show up earlier, stay later, and put in more effort than everyone else. They don't make excuses, they don't wait for the perfect moment, and they don't waste time. They simply outwork, outlast, and outperform everyone around them. Most people want success, but very few are willing to do what it takes. They want the rewards without the struggle. They want the results without the sacrifice. But success is a game of endurance. It's not about how fast you start. It's about how long you can keep going. Can you keep grinding when you're tired? Can you keep pushing when no one is watching? Can you stay consistent when the results are not immediate? That's what separates the winners from everyone else. The problem is that most people are obsessed with looking for shortcuts. They ask, what's the easiest way? Instead of what's the most effective way. They want a hack, a trick, or a magic formula to success. But there are no hacks. There are no shortcuts. The only path is hard work, discipline, and persistence. Those who understand this go further, faster, and longer than anyone else. Think about the legends in any industry. The greatest athletes, the top entrepreneurs, the most influential leaders, they all have one thing in common, an insane work ethic. They push themselves past their limits. They put in hours when everyone else is relaxing. They train when no one is watching. They refuse to be outworked. That's why they are at the top, while everyone else watches from the sidelines. Most people underestimate what it actually takes to be successful. They think working a little harder than average will get them to the top. It won't. You don't get ahead by doing what's expected. You get ahead by doing what no one else is willing to do. While others are resting, you grind. While others are making excuses, you execute. While others give up, you keep going. You outwork, outlast, and eventually you outperform. One of the greatest weapons you can have is consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day, a week, or even a month. But can you do it for years? Can you stay committed when you don't feel like it? Can you show up when no one is clapping for you? The ones who win are the ones who show up every single day, no matter what. They don't take shortcuts. They don't make excuses, and they don't stop. There will be days when you don't feel like working. Days when your motivation is low, when everything feels pointless, when you want to quit. That's the moment that defines you. That's when most people give up. But that's when you push harder. Because the days you don't feel like working are the most important days to show up. If you only work when it's easy, you'll never reach your full potential. Success is not for the lazy. It's not for the weak. It's not for those who are looking for comfort. It's for the ones who are willing to suffer, to sacrifice, and to push beyond their limits. It's for those who refuse to quit. You have to train yourself to love the grind, to embrace the hard work, to wake up every day and attack your goals with relentless energy. You have to make hard work your identity. The truth is, most people are not willing to put in the work. They get excited in the beginning, but when the excitement wears off, they quit. They don't have the stamina, the endurance, or the patience to stay in the game long enough to win. That's where you have the advantage. If you can outlast them, if you can keep pushing when they stop, you will always be ahead. Remember, success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about who can keep going the longest. It's about who can take the most hits and keep moving forward. It's about who has the discipline to show up every single day without fail. If you commit to that level of work, there is nothing you cannot achieve. So the question is, are you willing to do what others won't? Are you willing to put in the hours, make the sacrifices, and grind harder than anyone else? Are you willing to go all in every single day, no matter what? If the answer is yes, then nothing can stop you. Because when you outwork everyone else, when you refuse to quit, And when you stay in the game longer than anyone else, you don't just win, you dominate. Number 9, surround yourself with greatness. Your environment is shaping you every single day, whether you realize it or not. The people you spend time with, the conversations you engage in, the energy you surround yourself with, it all affects your mindset, your motivation, and ultimately your success. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you are surrounded by weak, negative, unmotivated people, no matter how ambitious you are, they will drag you down. But if you surround yourself with winners, people who are driven, disciplined, and relentless, you will rise to their level. Most people never reach their potential because they refuse to let go of toxic relationships. They hold on to friendships that drain them, to people who make excuses, and to environments that breed mediocrity. They try to grow while staying attached to people who are comfortable being average. But here's the truth. You cannot fly if you are chained to the ground. You cannot become great if you surround yourself with small-minded people. If you truly want to be successful, you have to be ruthless about who you allow into your life. Audit your circle. Who are you spending the most time with? Are they pushing you to be better, or are they pulling you back? Are they encouraging your growth, or are they making you doubt yourself? The answers to these questions will determine your future. It's not just about cutting toxic people out. It's about intentionally seeking out those who will challenge you, inspire you, and force you to level up. Surround yourself with people who think bigger than you do. People who demand excellence. People who don't tolerate laziness or excuses. Because when you are around winners, you start thinking and acting like a winner. Success is contagious. When you are in an environment where high standards are the norm, you naturally adopt those standards. When everyone around you is working hard, pushing limits, and refusing to settle, you have no choice but to rise to their level. This is the power of proximity. Think about it. When you hang around negative, excuse-making, lazy people, what happens? You start absorbing their habits. You start complaining more. You start making excuses. You start thinking small. And before you know it, you've become one of them. That's why you have to be extremely careful about who you let influence your mind. Some of the hardest decisions you will make on your journey to success will involve cutting people out of your life. Not because you hate them, but because you love your future more. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify it. You just have to move forward, even if it means leaving some people behind. Because the truth is, not everyone is meant to go where you're going. If you want to become successful, you must actively seek out mentors, high achievers, and people who are further ahead than you. Study them, learn from them, absorb their habits, their mindset, and their work ethic. Success leaves clues. The fastest way to elevate your life is to surround yourself with those who have already achieved what you want. And it's not just about the people. You must also guard what you consume. The books you read, the content you watch, the conversations you engage in, they are shaping you every day. If you are constantly filling your mind with negativity, gossip, and nonsense, you are feeding your brain the wrong fuel. But if you are constantly feeding yourself knowledge, wisdom, and powerful ideas, you are programming yourself for greatness. The truth is, most people waste their energy on meaningless distractions, social media drama, pointless arguments, mindless entertainment. Winners don't have time for that. They are too busy building, learning, and growing. If you want to succeed, you must learn to protect your time and energy. Eliminate anything that does not contribute to your growth. This doesn't mean you should isolate yourself. It means you should be intentional about who you give your time to. It means choosing relationships that inspire and elevate you. It means surrounding yourself with people who push you, not people who enable your weaknesses. The bottom line is this: if you want to be successful, stop wasting time with people who don't want more out of life. Stop giving energy to people who drain you. Stop engaging in conversations that add no value. Stop trying to save people who don't want to be saved. Instead, focus on building relationships with people who align with your vision. Find a circle that challenges you to become better. Surround yourself with greatness, and you will become great. So look around. Who are you spending time with? Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Are they fueling your ambition or draining your energy? Because in the end, your success is not just about what you do, it's about who you surround yourself with. Choose wisely. Number 10. Lead, dominate, and leave a legacy. At some point, success is no longer just about you. It's about the impact you leave behind. It's about the people you inspire, the lives you change, and the legacy you build. The highest level of success is not measured by wealth, status, or fame. It is measured by how many people you elevate, how many lives you touch, and how long your influence lasts after you're gone. The ultimate goal is not just to win, but to lead, to dominate, and to leave something behind that outlives you. The world is full of followers. People waiting to be told what to do, waiting for permission, waiting for someone to lead the way. But leaders don't wait. They step up. They take charge, take responsibility, and take action. They set the standard. They don't blend in with the crowd. They stand out. If you want to be truly unstoppable, you must stop waiting for permission and start acting like a leader. Leadership isn't about titles or positions. It's not about being in charge. It's about taking charge. It's about setting an example so powerful that others naturally follow. The best leaders lead by actions, not words. They don't talk about discipline. They live it. They don't talk about resilience. They embody it. They don't preach hard work. They demonstrate it every single day. If you want to inspire others, you must first become the kind of person worth following. Dominance is another level beyond leadership. It's about becoming so good, so relentless, so undeniable that you can't be ignored. It's about mastering your craft, outworking your competition, and setting a new standard of excellence. The best in the world don't just participate, they dominate. They don't settle for being in the game, they control the game. They make their presence felt. Most people fear dominance. They don't want to stand out. They don't want to make others uncomfortable. But that's exactly why they stay average. Winners don't shrink themselves to make others feel comfortable. They go all in. They take up space. They own their greatness. And because of that, they create movements. They build empires. They change industries. They shape the world. The truth is, if you're not building a legacy, you're wasting your time. Everything you do should have an impact beyond yourself. Your work, your discipline, your influence. It should inspire others to be better, to work harder, to believe in themselves. The greatest leaders are not the ones who reach the top alone. They are the ones who pull others up with them. A legacy is not built overnight. It is built through consistent action, unwavering standards, and a relentless commitment to excellence. It is built by showing up every single day and giving your best, not just for yourself, but for those who are watching, those who are learning from you, those who will one day follow your example. You are writing your legacy right now with every choice you make, every action you take, every habit you build. So ask yourself, what will you be remembered for? Will people remember you as someone who played it safe, who did just enough, who settled for average? Or will they remember you as someone who refused to quit, who gave everything, who pushed beyond limits, who set a new standard for what was possible? Legacy is about impact. It's about creating something bigger than yourself. It's about building something that lives on after you. It's about leading by example so that others are inspired to follow. It's about making your presence felt so strongly that even when you're gone, your influence remains. But here's the truth. You don't build a legacy by thinking about it. You build a legacy by acting on it. You build a legacy by stepping up, by pushing yourself beyond what's comfortable, by refusing to accept anything less than greatness. You build a legacy by dominating in your field, by demanding excellence from yourself and those around you. You build a legacy by leading, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Most people go through life leaving nothing behind. They work jobs they don't care about. They live lives without passion, and they fade away without ever making a mark. But that's not you. You are built for more. You are built to lead, to dominate, to make an impact. You are built to leave a legacy that will outlive you. So step up, take charge, stop waiting, stop hesitating. Lead with power, dominate with confidence, and build something that will stand the test of time. Because at the end of the day, your life will be defined by the choices you made, the people you influenced, and the impact you left behind. Make it count. At the end of the day, success comes down to one simple truth. The hardest path is always the one that leads to greatness. The easy road is crowded with people who settle, who make excuses, who give up when things get tough. But the hard road, that's where the winners are. That's where the disciplined, the relentless, the unstoppable live. If you've made it this far, you already know what it takes. You know that success requires ownership, discipline, resilience, speed, sacrifice, hard work, the right environment, and a relentless drive to lead and dominate. But knowing is not enough. The real question is, will you take action? Will you apply what you've learned? Because in the end, It's not the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented who succeed. It's the ones who refuse to quit. Most people will never reach their full potential because they avoid discomfort. They choose comfort over growth, pleasure over discipline, and fear over action. But you are not most people. You are built for more. You have the ability to become something greater, to push past limits, to refuse to settle. But you must decide right now that you will do what is hard, no matter what. The choice is yours. You can keep waiting, keep making excuses, keep wishing for things to change. Or you can take control, take action, and create the life you want. The moment you commit to doing what is hard, everything changes. You build strength. You build resilience. You become unstoppable. So stop hesitating. Stop waiting for the right moment. The time is now. Do what is hard, and watch yourself transform into the person you were meant to be. Now go out there and dominate.